It's shiny. You like it? Yes, you do. This is my grandmother's brooch. Hey, welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel, and I read Bible so that you don't have to. And we are just trying to get through Exodus. Even though we're going to get through it pretty soon, I don't think things are going to get better. I'm always like, good, we'll get out of this book. I'm done with this book. We'll move on to the next book. Maybe something new and exciting will happen. I will say that this book was in some ways an improvement on Genesis. So I actually don't want to be a negative Nancy because I think the storytelling did improve in this book. There still isn't that much character development, except that we do see that Moses is pretty consistently angry. So that's pretty fun. But I am worried that Leviticus is going to be a lot of laws, and I don't know who those laws are for. I feel like it's just for the Levites, who are going to be the favorite, because what did they do? They slaughtered 3,000 Hebrews because God was miffed at them for the golden calf thing. So they're in line to be pretty popular with God. I don't want to jump ahead, but look, I'm just spitballing and killing time while I get to the point where I can say, hey, can you guys subscribe, like, and comment on the video? I'm not going to actually spend that much time with that this time. We're going to get into it. Exodus chapter 35. Moses assembled the whole Israelite community and said to them, "These are the things the Lord has commanded you to do. For 6 days work is to be done, but the seventh day shall be your holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whoever does any work on it must be put to death." That's so interesting that it's a Sabbath to the Lord. This is something we're doing to the Lord, which is just sitting. It's just relaxing. Is he napping? I'm napping to the Lord. I'm snoozing to the Lord, you know? I'm just reclining to the Lord. I'm watching a show and eating chips to the Lord. What's the problem? This is a sign unto God that I love him and worship him and stuff. It's to the Lord, and it's just me relaxing. To the Lord, you know. Do not light a fire in any of your dwellings on the Sabbath day. Be cold, all right? Be cold. I mean, they live in a desert, so it's probably not going to be generally cold. Imagine you still had to follow this, but you lived in like the Northwest Territories, or it was winter in Alberta, or for Americans, Montana. Somewhere cold and there's a lot of snow. It's like, uh-oh, we're Hebrews. Just turn on the heat. Well, but I think that's the equivalent of a fire. No. God didn't say anything about a furnace. Moses said to the whole Israelite community, "This is what the Lord has commanded. From what you have, take an offering for the Lord. Everyone who is willing is to bring the Lord an offering of gold, silver, and bronze, blue and purple scarlet yarn, and fine linen, goat hair, ram skins dyed red, and hides of sea cows, acacia wood, olive oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrance incense, and onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and breastpiece." Okay, luckily this is a little bit of a shortened version of what we've already read, but they are spelling it out. He's like, by the way, this is, I think, what he said. You did make me destroy the tablets that has this written on it. Unless it's all written again, we don't know, because the only thing we had written on the tablets last episode is a totally different list of 10 commandments than the original 10 commandments. But maybe all of those 10, plus the slavery laws, plus all the stuff about the tabernacle, and these new 10, which also somewhat resemble the original 10, but not really, that is all written on it's incoherent, as I said last time. But anyway, so we're getting the materials kind of relisted. It should just say, do everything that was listed in those previous chapters where we spelled out exactly what was going to happen. Do that. All who are skilled among you are to come and make everything the Lord has commanded. Isn't there going to be one specific guy and then a couple other guys to help him? Whatever. The tabernacle with its tent and its covering, clasps, frames, crossbars, posts, and bases, the ark with its poles and the atonement cover, and the curtain that shields it, the table with its poles and all its articles, and the bread of the presence, the lampstand that is for light with its accessories, lamps and oil for the light, the altar of incense with its poles, the anointing oil and fragrant incense, the curtain for the doorway at the entrance to the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering with its bronze grating, its poles and all its utensils, the bronze basin with its stand, the curtains of the courtyard with the posts and bases, and the curtain for the entrance to the courtyard, the tent pegs for the tabernacle and for the courtyard and their ropes, the woven garments worn for ministering in the sanctuary, both the sacred garments for Aaron, the priest, and the garments for his sons when they serve as priests. It's just everything again. So I just blew through that. There's no reason for me to stop. I've already commented on this stuff. Watch the previous chapters. Why am I doing recap episodes? Why am I doing recap episodes if Bible is doing recap episodes? Like, come on, we don't need it, God. I'm doing it. Then the whole Israelite community withdrew from Moses' presence, and everyone who was willing and whose heart moved him came and brought an offering to the Lord for the work on the tent of meeting, for all its service, and for the sacred garments. I think that that's neat too, that like this isn't sort of like compulsory, right? I mean, if I were them, I'd be a little bit scared. I'd be like, well, if we don't do it, God is going to kill us. If we don't show up, if we don't bring the goat hair, like, do you have goat hair? Yeah, if you don't bring the goat hair, he's going to like definitely kill us. He's saying to volunteer, but no, it's really not that simple. I'd be scared. Did you see how radiant Moses' face was? Did you see, like, God is just like on that guy's face, and that's why he's wearing a veil. He's freaking us out. So yeah, let's do whatever he says. Do you have any red yarn? Because I've got purple yarn. And does anyone have blue? All who were willing, men and women alike, came and brought gold jewelry of all kinds, brooches, earrings, rings, and ornaments. They all presented their gold as a wave offering to the Lord. It's shiny. You like it? Yes, you do. Yes, I do. This is my grandmother's brooch. You like my earrings? You like my earrings? The big hoop earrings? Yeah, I was doing a little bit of prostituting. There's my big hoops. You like my hoops? Everyone who had blue, purple, or scarlet yarn, or fine linen, or goat hair, ram skin dyed red, or hides of sea cows brought them. Those presenting an offering of silver or bronze brought it as an offering to the Lord, and everyone who had acacia wood or any part of the work brought it. Every skilled woman spun in her hands and brought what she had spun, blue, purple, or scarlet yarn or fine linen. And all the women who were willing and had the skill spun the goat hair. Well, that's nice. This is probably the second mention of autonomy for women, if we're honest, right? These women were willing to do the spinning. They weren't even told by their husbands who owned them that they should do that. You know, the other willing participant was when Rebecca was asked what she wanted to do. They were like, Rebecca, will you go with this guy early? And she was like, yeah, fine. And now here we see a little bit more autonomy. So these are the types of things that if you're a Christian and someone says women had no autonomy, you could point to this. That's a good idea. Just like pull it from one little instance where God was like, well, let women have a choice whether or not they want to spin goat hair. And it's like, well, see, women had autonomy, you know? No, they were owned. That's a little hint for you apologists. You could use it. You'd be lying, but you could use it. I mean, I wouldn't put it past you, but you could use it. Let's not say that this one passage means that women all had agency over everything they did throughout the whole book. That would be crazy. The leaders brought onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and breastpiece. They also brought spices and olive oil for the light and for the anointing oil and for the fragrant incense. All the Israelite men and women who were willing brought the Lord free will offerings for all the work the Lord, through Moses, had commanded them to do. I'm not really sure what free will offerings are, if I'm honest. The word free will is there, so if you wanted to try to say, the free will is in the Bible, in the NIV, these are called free will offerings, so does that show that they do have free will? The King James says, every man or woman whose heart made them willing to bring an offering. So again, I don't think that this means that we have some sort of free will. In this particular translation, it does say that there is free will. So that might fly in the face of everything else you're going to read in the Bible. We should note that previously in this book, when we're talking about these sacrifices that need to be made, it doesn't sound optional. It doesn't sound like something that you can do. It's like something you are commanded to do. Right now, it seems like, hey, anyone that's willing, go ahead, feel free, bring the stuff. That's cool. When really, I think it's more of this is how this is going to go. You are going to bring offerings. If you don't, there's going to be trouble. You do want to bring these offerings. It is very important. So I don't know what to believe entirely. Then Moses said to the Israelites, "See, the Lord has chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, from the tribe of Judah, and he has filled him with the Spirit of God, with skill, ability, and knowledge, and all kinds of crafts, to make artistic designs for work in gold, silver, and bronze, to cut and set stones, to work in wood, and engage in all kinds of artistic craftsmanship. And he has given both him and Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, the ability to teach others." Oh, the others are the other people that are going to come, and all who are skilled among you are to come to make everything the Lord has commanded. Like the guy that's going to be in charge of all this, he has the super skills that God has given him magically. That's Bezalel. And then Oholiab is going to also, he knows his stuff, but Bezalel will tell him what they're going to do. And then Oholiab, he's a great teacher. He's going to teach all the other people who come who are somewhat skilled how to do this stuff. So there's a system there. It seems a little bit convoluted for, God that could just be like, yeah, everyone knows what they're doing, or I'm just going to make it. But, it makes it a little bit more magical than just easily doing it. You know what I mean? It's like when you have a fight with a bad guy, you don't want to win too quick, right? You want there to be, some time taken. And I think that that's what this is. It's like, we can't just have them do it. We can't just have God be like, all right, everybody knows how to do everything. They make it really fast, because that wouldn't be that interesting. So we want to add a little bit of suspense even in this part of the narrative. He has filled them with skill to do all kinds of work as craftsmen, designers, embroiderers in blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen, and weavers, all of them master craftsmen and designers. All right, guys, the light is getting a little weird here, but that is Chapter 35. Not a lot has happened in this chapter. It's sort of just a reiteration of the other stuff. And I can only take 5 chapters at a time, if I'm honest. So I am going to finish recording for the day. We'll be back next time with chapter 36, which I hope will have more interest to it. No promises, although it is a bit of a longer one. I feel like they're just going to be going back over everything we've already gone over. Please come back and watch the episodes, but I might be powering through a few of them because that stuff was already super boring. So to do it again is just going to be like, you don't want me reading this book, do you, God? I think it's like, please don't read this. Please don't read. If I was going to start a cult where, to subjugate people or make them do what I want them to do, I would do it this way. I would write a book so boring that also seems like it's important and be like, you have to read it, and everyone would be like, I am so tired. I cannot continue reading this. Honestly, I'll just believe it. Yes, I'll sign off on it. Please don't make me read another word, And I think that that's what's going on here, because honestly, it is, there's a few good stories, and then it's just like, come on, do we really have to hear about this tabernacle again? Thanks for being here. Comment, subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye.